I forgot to add myself to the stage. Hey,
Sorry about that. I had some technical difficulty. I had to run around and get on my phone.
it's okay. It's okay. How you doing, everybody? This is John. Welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Jon Dexter. Uh, he was scheduled last week, and I got mixed up with work, so I forgot to tell you that I had to go to work. Sorry. I'm working till like midnight now, and then I stay up till like 6 o'clock in the morning doing
Oh
stuff.
Lord.
And then I wake up in the morning like to a phone call. Can you come? And I wasn't thinking. I'm amazed
Well,
I got to work on time. I mean, it's safe. I was like drinking my coffee and everything. So I thought today was like, oh, turnabout's fair play. Now you got something and you can't come in. So
no, I was on I'm on my lunch break right now. I'm at work too. So
I hope
and then
up
I
last
couldn't
week.
get a signal.
Uh,
No,
it,
it's all good now.
right. You're an electrical inspector, right?
No, construction inspector. So I go out and they're rebuilding roads. I got to do inspections for it and testing concrete and asphalt and all that fun stuff that you got to do to make a living.
So the bottom line is we're both construction people, blue collar,
Yes.
trying to make comic books. Um, Before we show off your comic, which I absolutely love, I can already see people like Dave Brink, who was here yesterday. He says it takes skill to write a detective story. Yes, Dime Store Detective. I've been saying this for a while. Is the best written indie comic, in crowdfunding or what anything that I've experienced. I
Well,
think
thank you. I really appreciate it. That's high praise coming from you.
I really, really enjoy it. I can't wait to the point where like stop procrastinating. Get this on. I want to see how it goes. You know what I mean? That's it. That's a
Yeah.
good. I want more. And everyone buy Dime Store Detective. I got it on a whim, good whim, with Alpha Dog One, and I haven't regretted. Good.
Thanks.
Also,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
and we got Yang here too. How you doing, Yang? Can't wait for Empire of the Undying Sun. Everybody's making some good stuff. Everybody's and Creative Welshman. You're working on something too, right? I'm not mixing you up with somebody else. And I might as well plug me. Heroic Tales 2.
Yeah.
I'm fulfilling now. Um, I'm about halfway, a little less than halfway done fulfilling comics. So if you didn't get a shipping notification, just be patient. Give me another week or two. Just give me another week or two, and everybody should be whatever received. I can't even freaking talk.
Yeah, that's the. I mean, it's fun that people. It's great that people are back to you. You get to fulfill it. It's just. It's such a pain to get things shipped, trying to get on time. I just got to email someone hadn't got their comic that I had thought I'd sent out a while ago. So it happens.
Yeah, I learned I fulfilled I did everything. Well, I can't draw, but other than that, I did everything myself with my first campaign, and I'm doing everything myself now. I don't know. Do you get a fulfilling service or anything when you, or do you?
No, it's just me. It's just me.
Right.
I'm not big enough yet to
Right.
hire somebody to do it.
I'm not big enough, and fortunately, things are booming right now in New York construction. This is the lowest unemployment in my field that I've seen in my 22 years.
Wow.
And I always have to twist the knife a little bit. Yeah, the last time it was this low, we had the same president. That's really weird. What a coincidence. So I twist the knife a little bit, but I it's a good complaint. I'm so busy that it's rough to fulfill everything. So I'm thinking next time I might go with a Critical Blast and have him fulfill all my stuff for me, because he'll have it done all like less than a week. That's his job. For those of you talking about, he was on my channel. RJ from Critical Blast. He does fulfillment. He'll get you hardcovers, whatever you want. He's the guy. He's the guy. But I always thought I was too small. But now I'm realizing, oh man, I'm not complaining. I want more orders, guys. Don't miss it. But fulfilling is and you're a blue collar guy, so you understand. We're trying to save every time we can. You're doing everything ourselves. Compared to carrying pipes and digging in the ditch, this is nothing. This is fun. This is fun.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to say this to you. You'd appreciate this. I don't know if you're familiar with Matt Barr, but he drew Rock and Roll Ninja, and
Okay.
he was live, and I was working on a Sunday, and I was on a break, and I just turned on my phone and hopped on his stream, and I'm in an electrical closet with pipings, everything like that. And him being an artist, he was looking at all the parallel pipes and everything like that. And he's looking at it in a different perspective as me, you know. And he was like, "That is so cool," you know. So I was just, you know, you forget that not everybody sees inside. You know, when you go into a building, you're seeing the nice areas, chairs.
Oh yeah.
But when I go into a building, when John goes into a building, we're seeing the machine rooms and the electrical closets and the spaces behind the stairs where the pumps are and stuff like that.
Yeah, all the guts.
Yeah, and I forget that nobody sees that. So other people are always amazed when I take pictures. So he messaged me. He goes, "Do you think we could make a comic book about that?" I'm like, "About piping?" And, you know, like, what are you, nuts? You know, so he planted a seed. And now I started thinking this would be kind of funny, like to make like a humorous Mad Magazine type story of like the machine elves behind reality, bending pipes and putting the gutters into the comic books and everything like that while there's a story going on. So long story short, we're making a comic book based on blue collar guys. We're going to have like guys with pipe benders, you know, and threading the pipes and spinning the gutters in, you know what I mean? To make the comic book. I don't know. I thought you of all people would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. You should make it an anthology. That'd be kind of cool. Everybody have their own blue collar stories or something.
I was thinking of calling it "Building the Fourth Wall."
Yeah, that was actually the genesis of Dime Store Detective was I was testing concrete on these you know, the poles for transmission lines that send electricity, and out of Michigan we have morels, so I would wander in the woods and look for morels, and I thought, man, well, what if I stumbled upon a dead body? And that was kind of how Dime Store Detective all kind of came about, was me looking for morels in the woods.
It's funny that you said that, because, you know, a couple of jobs, electricians are usually there's guys with backhoes are there first, and then electricians are there usually second, because we dig and then we got to put the pipes in for the electrical wires. Even, you know what I mean? Even the there's underneath the tarmac. So I'm there a lot of times as the backhoes are digging, and we always say the same thing. Like, we joke around, but it's always in the back of, because, you know, we're in Queens and New York. What if we find dead bodies? What if Jimmy Hoffa is here?
Yeah, you know? Exactly.
So we always and when I'm in a building and you lift up the tiles to run pipe, I'm always like, what if there's a satchel of cocaine or money? You know, what do we do? And we also, if it's money, nobody knows. But if it's cocaine,
exactly,
you know, depending upon who you are, you got to alert somebody.
Yeah, very true. So very true.
If they found a satchel of cocaine, I would never see them again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Have you ever found anything now that you got me?
Nothing exciting. Old medicine bottles by Bridge, where they threw out bottles and stuff like that, but nothing really cool. But actually, last year on my job, they were digging next to a park, and they found a skeleton down there. And it apparently, hundreds of years ago, the park used to be a graveyard, and one of the skeletons had somehow got in the middle of the intersection before it was obviously intersection.
Oh, it was obviously stalking at night.
Yeah, they did it. It was very old, but that was exciting to see a real skull and a femur bone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the most exciting thing I found, I went to a renovating a city bank in Chinatown in Manhattan, but this was years ago. I was fresh face, and we had to chop down the wall, and they were going to put like safety deposit boxes. So we were like being really careful not to wreck the foundations of the wall, but we had to. And inside, when they built the building, it must have been somebody put a newspaper, a full like Daily News or New York Times, I forget what it was, inside there, and they made like a little ledge. They must have, like, you know, whatever. Somebody's gonna find this someday. They made like a little.
Yeah.
So I found a fully intact, like 1919 newspaper. You know.
Oh, cool.
And I'm so mad I didn't keep it. But like, we were reading the news and checking it. But the thing that everybody was, there was like a whole classified section, buying houses, cars. The market prices back in 1918. It
Jeez.
was so freaking cool,
That would be neat.
And then, of course, there was a wall of old safety deposit boxes that we were literally like taking them and throw them on the ground because we had to get behind it and put up electric. So every time we open up a safety, we were like, "This is the gems." Nothing. Of course, they cleaned it up before we got there, but can you imagine? Open it up? Action Comics #1.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been amazing. It does happen here and ever so often.
Yeah, there was a guy in Brooklyn who he worked in my job, but I didn't work with this guy, so I heard it through somebody else that he bought an old house in Brooklyn and lived in it for 12 years. So he's living in the house for 12 years, and then he decides to renovate. He bought it when he was what's called an MIJ, and then he becomes an A journeyman. So there's 3 stages: apprentice, MIJ, then journeyman. So now he's a journeyman. He's married. He's got money. Now he's going to renovate the house that he's been living in, and he starts taking down the plaster walls. And he found $12,000 in cash.
Wow!
Behind the wall, and he goes, "What do I do? I don't. It's his at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to go." So yeah. And then another guy I worked with, somebody told him, and then he confirmed it that why can't I think of Al Capone? Not Al Capone. I forget. There was some gangster from New York, a famous gangster whose name is now escaping. He owned his house back in like 1920. Again, like Brooklyn or something like that. And he's convinced that there's treasure in the house. So every once in a while, he'll like take down a wall, and he hasn't found anything yet. Go figure. I don't know.
Yeah. Cool. That's interesting.
Well, the place haunted where you found the skeleton?
It was in the middle of an intersection, so I don't know if it was an intersection in the middle in Kalamazoo. So it was on the news. You could see it on the news, but yeah.
So you're telling me
I don't know.
You found a skeleton at the crosswalk?
Yeah, well, I didn't work with it. It was underneath the ground quite a ways. They were digging for sanitary sewer. So,
that was a sacrifice to Hecate,
Yeah, it was the whole thing. They had the FBI out there and all sorts. They were shut it down for a few weeks, of course. So, but yeah, it was pretty interesting. I think they found most of the skeleton too. But
this will be the last construction find story. Then we'll get to your comic. But I was going to go buy a house, and I went up to Garnerville, New York, and there was a house for it was like $50,000, and I'm like, what's So I go to look at the house. Beautiful little house, painted green in the corner, nice neighborhood. Every other house is like, at this point, like 300,000. This was a while ago. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what? So I asked the real estate agent, what's wrong with the house? I go, who was killed in this house?
Yeah.
And she just, you have to disclose that stuff. But apparently, the original owner bought the house, was married, had an affair with his maid, and then when the maid got pregnant, he killed her.
Oh, jeez.
Put her in the boiler, and then welded up the boiler, and then proceeded. Everybody was just like, hey, she went back to her country or whatever. Whatever. He lived the rest of his life. The wife lived, and then he died. Whoever the new people lived in the house for like 25 years, and then they decided to renovate the house. They took out the boiler and they found a mummified corpse.
Oh,
and that's how they found out about. And they wanted. So I was like, I'll buy the house. I didn't kill this woman.
Yeah.
I got nothing to do. 50 grand. I'll pay cash for this house. But I just couldn't cross so many bridges, like coming home. When we were driving home, there was construction on the bridge, and I was like, I can't travel like this every day to work.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Now, so let's get to your. I heard if a house is usually not just in New York, like everywhere, like you're supposed to tell people, like if they ask. I don't know if the real estate agent just, this is a murder house, but I think if you ask or anything. But when a house is 50 grand, and
no kidding.
Yeah, the neighbors would have loved me. I don't cause any problems. But anyway, put your link in the private chat so I can bring up your camera.
Yeah, let me get in here.
So we'll get back to Dave Brink's comment over here. It takes skill to write a detective story. So, Dime Store Detective obviously is a detective story. And every time I talk to John, I always say the same thing. I want to write a detective story, but I'm just not smart enough to write a detective story. But yeah, the trick to a detective story is you have the crime already in your head, and then you do everything backwards. Like you just gotta. But I don't know. I'm so afraid. I know people are gonna dissect it, and because I do, I dissect everything, and I try to play beat the. Oh, I think John froze. I try to play beat the writer, and I'm trying to beat John for the mystery for Dime Store Detective, and I think he's winning so far because I don't know where it's going.
Oh, let me put it in here. All right, and set it. All right, here's the link to the Kickstarter.
Tim Olson's here. Tim, he's got his own book, Melvin. For movies, we learn never buy a house built on an Indian burial ground.
Exactly.
Dr. Mask, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hi.
Realtor. Oh yeah, just one more thing. The silverware floats in the house. If that's what
Yeah. Yeah. You hear somebody walking upstairs once in a while, just ignore it.
The original owner of this house, he was like in his 90s, and he fell down the steps over there and died.
Oh.
And he was an Elvis super fan. Like on News 12 Long Island, every year on Elvis's birthday, they would come send a news crew to this house and interview him. He had the sideburns, the glasses.
Nice.
Every inch of the house was covered in Elvis memorabilia. So, I have this character King Fu in my comic book. I'm like, that's for you, Peter. And I'll play an Elvis record every once in a while. It's like, I don't need the ghost of Peter bothering me. I'm an Elvis fan. We're cool.
Yeah.
I like Elvis. Elvis is all right with me. So let's share your link.
Yeah, I actually got funded last night, which was great.
Oh, nice.
So finally funded. We got 15 days left to go, marching towards the first stretch goal right now.
Hey, Ben is here. How you doing, Ben? Good to see everybody here. So this is I just chased away. Ben's here, but John's not. So this is Dime Store Detective. It's not complete yet. I think there's. Oh, John's back.
Yeah,
How many more issues to finish the story?
So there's gonna be four more issues after this one. So this one encompasses the first 5 issues. It's about 130 pages right now. So plenty of comic to read, and people like, as you tested, have really been enjoying it.
Yeah, I really like this. I'm a sucker for it. I don't know what it is. I'm going through a detective comic phase, like not Batman, although I do like Batman, but comics. Yeah. I'm reading Miss Tree. Have you ever read Miss Tree?
No, I don't believe so.
That it's flat out detective. There's no natural nothing. It's and real world consequences. Sometimes shocking, but it's I could talk about mystery. Yeah. I realized I never heard of it. But anyway, this is the first 5 issues collected. If you liked True Detective, you're gonna love this story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like if you love True Detective, you love Stephen King's It, then you'd really enjoy it. It's got a really cool detective mystery, but with a supernatural edge to it that threads the story when we go back and forth in time. So, yeah, people have really been enjoying it, and yeah, we check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it big, and I'm gonna play your trailer, right?
Okay.
Okay. How do I do that? And I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. Having trouble with StreamYard. I don't know what
the
I'm
cool
doing.
thing is those black and white pages. Once you look through the previews, they've all been converted to the sepia tone now, so it looks a lot sharper. It has a lot more of that noir feel to it now with the pages. I had them. It's how I wanted to do it before, but money. So they were all black and white previously, and now they've all been converted to that really gorgeous sepia tone that you see here.
Right. Sheldon is asking black and white. So this what it was in the flashback was black and white, but now the flashback is colored like an old photograph. It works really.
Yeah, I wanted there to, well, first because I love, I mean, if people would like it, I kind of wanted it in black and white, the whole story, to really give it that old school feel. But then everybody loves color, so
right.
I converted it. The publisher asked it too, and it's what I wanted to do before the sepia tone. But now that I have a publisher and it's going to be in the market, I wanted to do it how I envisioned it originally, in this really beautiful sepia tone. So
it worked. I have the original copies, the first first 5 issues, and it works seamlessly, and it works for what it was, because it goes back into the olden days, so but it really, I remember when you first told me, I was like, oh, I don't know, but it worked flawlessly. You did a really good job. Good story. Thanks. I'm hooked. I like the characters. I really like, last time you were on, you would give me a little bit of backstory about the Moonshine Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that really is an untapped source of stories. I think now Netflix and TV are starting to make movies about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, but this has been coming out for, the only other person who ever touched it was in board games in H.P. Lovecraft. There was the Sheldon gang, and they were Appalachian moonshiners, and it was just like everyone's like chance. You'd land on a spot, you'd flip a card, you're like, oh no, the Sheldon gang is,
I hadn't heard that till you had said something about that. Yeah, that's cool. The story, which is, I don't know, top of my head, has ever been taken place before, but the story takes place in the Appalachian Mountains, a lot of it North Georgia. It's this detective named Donald Mackinder. His family had this infamous moonshiner war of 81 that really turned the county upside down, and the two brothers, the detective's father and uncle, back in 81, they end up going to war with the Dixie Mafia. They end up trying to push this family out of business, 5 generations of moonshiners, and the two brothers go into the Appalachian to try to find a new place for their still to hide it, because their other one was found and destroyed. And they come across this hidden cave in the Appalachian Mountains that, of course, brothers being as they are, they're in their 20s. They don't stop once they see these hieroglyphics in the cave of the warning by the Cherokee. They venture forth, and the uncle ends up becoming possessed. And that really leads to this bloody all-out war in North Georgia. And then we flash back and forth to the present, when the detective Mackinder, the son of one of the moonshiners, not the one possessed, but the other one, he ends up coming across this scene in the Appalachian Mountains. This woman's been displayed, in this Christ-like pose, nude, the third victim of the serial killer. Over the burial grounds, the detective's father and uncle had left multiple bodies during their moonshiner war in 81. So there's this connection to this evil entity that the detective has to try to figure out and come to grips with the fact that, his uncle may have been possessed. There was something that happened in that cave that as a boy, he basically didn't want to come to grips with the reality of this, otherworldly being, this metaphysical world that, exists in this story. So, and then of course there's this underground sex cult run by the rich and powerful that called to this evil entity, and one day,
if you're rich and powerful, but join a sex cult. I mean,
of course. So kind of got the Epstein Island vibe to it.
I mean, you can't. What's wrong with Warhammer? You paint minis all day long. You perverts. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's very, very true. So yeah, the cult, they dress up what they believe this evil entity looks like with these masks and these robes, and one day as they do their chant, the fire speaks, and that kind of starts the role of the dominoes falling in the story. So yeah, it's it's a very unique story, and I can just about offer. I'd like to offer a money back guarantee that you will absolutely love this story if you give it a chance.
I tell you, this hits all my buttons. You know, I love the setting. I love the background with this Dixie Mafia. You know, I love that it's a detective story, and then you got, you know, supernatural possession, conspiracy theories, and cults. This, you know, this comic is just, it's everything I want. You know, I'm a big superhero fan, but you know, this is obviously not a superhero comic book, but this is just made for me. I really, really dig it. It's really well written. You know, my only critique is, come on, man, let's get the rest of the issues out. I want to read the story. It's that good.
I know. Well, issue 6 is being drawn as we speak, and not to give away the end of issue 5, where we find out.
I try not to spoil it. You know.
Yeah. Something happens, a major cliffhanger at the end of issue 5. So this is a great place for people to come in, because we kind of start the thread and build to this moment. And now in issue 6, everything will start coming together, and we connect with the past and the present. And I can tell you, issue 6 is probably the best issue of any comic I've ever written. I can't wait for people to show it. I've got all the sketch pages done, and my goal is to kind of, hopefully now I also have my Alpha Dogs, which I would beg everybody. It's right now on pre-order through Lunar. Alpha Dogs issue 1 graphic novel, to ask your LCS to order it through pre-order through Lunar, so that, you know, it can really kind of hopefully make my career take off and really start pumping these comics out a lot faster.
Being out in the cold, out in construction site in the cold, is not fun, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get John by a typewriter.
Exactly. I got a lot of stories to tell. I've been doing this for a long time, and my goals were to get a publisher, to get my comics in comic book shops, and to get my stuff made into TV, movies. And so far I've accomplished 2 of the goals. The second one, getting through Lunar, I got signed last year by Source Point Press, great indie comic book publisher. And now this year, I should say next year, in January 2026, Alpha Dog's graphic novel will be is in Lunar currently for pre-orders and to go around comic book stores. And then Dime Store will also be published through them through Lunar as well, sometime in 2026. So it's going, it's slowly, but you know, right now it's just me, so it's obviously tough to get the word out there, to, you know, working a day job, as you know. And if anybody check it out.
Are you talking from like a trailer?
No, I'm talking from inside my truck with my high-vis shirt. Yeah, it's Comic Cons, interviews right now, and
I see you posted on Twitter a lot. You go to conventions. How's that working out?
Great. This my last convention was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I almost broke my sales record, which is great. So it's been going well this year. I'm trying to get more next year. We'll see, but right now I'm kind of trying to call comic book stores and emails and trying to get them to carry Alpha Dogs, because Alpha Dogs is just as good. It's just a totally different story than Dime Store Detective. Yeah, and you can get that on the Kickstarter as well, and you can get my Space Cruising on the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I read Space Cruising and I read Dime Store. I haven't read Alpha Dogs yet. I gotta get on. I gotta read Alpha Dogs. I know I like it. I wanted to comment on this. John, did you save a lot of money not going? He went full color, so don't think it's black or white. It's in full color. It's just a couple of black or white flashback sequences to let you know that it was in the past.
But yeah, I adhere to the KISS rule. Keep it simple, you know, and if I didn't flash back, you know, and have the different colors, once you start confusing people, you'll lose them. So I wanted to make a very obvious distinction between the past and the present. Now, instead of black and white, they're in this beautiful sepia tone for people to read. And even on the first page, I show a splash page with the past and the present and showing the different colors, so there's no confusion at all. So you can tell here, he's walking out of the liquor store in the present, and then we flash back to him walking out of it in the past, where he's confronted by the leader of this gang that his dad and uncle have went to war with, and he slaps the shit out of Donald McIntyre as a child to piss off his dad, to get his dad's attention. And that's not wise to do. And as the story goes in the later pages.
Right. I didn't want anybody to think that, you had it beautifully colored. I didn't want anybody to think it was black or white.
Yeah.
You know how things can get out. You're not the artist. You hired.
Hell no. No, I've got a great art team. Stone Tower Studio. Alfredo Ritmere, he's the interior artist. Lucas Orita is the colorist, and Lucas Urita is the letterer, does the graphics, sets up the Kickstarter page, because I'm not savvy at all when it comes to graphics. So I got a great team behind me. You wouldn't want to see me draw anything, trust me.
Sorry, my phone started ringing and I just turned off the mic.
Yeah.
It never fails. As soon as I go live, the phone starts ringing. And it's probably spam. This guy probably always likes to call me. Omnipro, what's up? What are your favorite comic book detective stories?
I am a huge fan of Ed Brubaker. He's probably currently my favorite writer. He's just, if you love Ed Brubaker stuff, then you would love my stuff.
Yep. I fully endorse that. I'm a big Ed Brubaker fan. Like sight unseen, I buy. I literally have a stack of Ed Brubaker stuff that I haven't even read yet.
Yeah, I've read most of his stuff. He actually, it amazes me how often he can come out with a new graphic novel, because he's amazing. And of course, I love Black Sad. Who doesn't love Black Sad? That was a great with the cat. That's a great one too.
I recommend Miss Tree by Max Collins. He wrote the Dick Tracy comic strip for a while.
Okay.
He wrote the comic book Road to Perdition, which became the movie with Tom Hanks. And
oh wow, okay, I'll definitely have to check stuff out.
It's full on detective. There's nothing supernatural. I really.
Yeah, and I think that's what sets my detective story apart from a lot of other people's, is I kind of combine these two genres. That what I enjoy, stories that I like, are people that can kind of combine two genres, so there's no lulls. You're working your way up through this mystery. Well, instead of kind of going down, now you're building up this whole different I don't want to say story, but thread of the story. So really, I think does a good job of melding these two genres together to this very original. I mean, I would say you're never going to find another comic out there like Dime Store Detective. I think it's a very original piece.
See, the first issue, I'm trying to remember, like I was like, oh, okay, it's a flat out detective story, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, and that took me by surprise, and I really liked it. Like, again, I'm a big Lovecraft fan, so I just picture, like, suppose a Lovecraft story happened to a trained detective.
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good way to describe it.
If you read Lovecraft, instead of some bumbling, if Lovecraft wrote this, it would have been the Dixie Mafia guy, the hillbilly. Was already dead, and then we'll piece it together. The story, but I'm really digging this.
And it got signed by a publisher, which is, as anybody says, is very difficult to do. So I think the fact that it was signed is a testament that it is a quality story that people are enjoying. So and I just got more backers.
And you deliver your books. You know what I mean? Like you're on time. You deliver. You fulfill. You're the real deal over here. Yeah. So I know you did Space Cruising, which is a sci-fi. Then you did this detective noir, and now it's almost kind of like superhero dogs, animals in Alpha.
Yeah.
So you're not sticking just with one genre. And do you got anything else up your sleeve? Anything?
Oh God, I've got a lot of them, but right now I got to get through. I have 10 issues of Alpha Dogs, 9 issues of Dime Store, so I'm just trying to push those out. My goal is by the end of now, if the graphic novels take off in stores, then sooner. But my goal is by the end of 2027 is to have everything finished out there, because I'm going back and forth between Alpha Dogs and Dime Store, and then I can start my other stuff. But I'm dying to write my Western called Weeping Trees, which was a 2-time semifinalist. The Academy Awards, they have the screenwriting contest, and there's like 7,500 scripts that get submitted, and mine made the semifinals, the top 180 out of 7,500 400 scripts 2 years in a row, and I thought those get made into a movie, but as 99% of screenplays go, didn't get off the ground. So I'm dying to write that one into a comic book.
Yeah, a Western. I'm also reading a lot of Western comics too.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this. Are the clues good enough that we could guess who done it by the end?
I hope not. if that's, to me, that's one of the worst things you can do is you want to keep the writer, into it and, guessing and think they have an idea, and then not pull out one of the, I hate when like a mystery story where, you think it's the killer and it's somebody that just comes in the story in the end. To me, it's a
right.
cop out.
Right. I think what you need is you want to keep people guessing. You don't want it to be obvious.
Yeah.
When it's over and done with, what Sheldon, I think, is asking is, does it make sense at the end? Like, you don't just Scooby-Doo and you find out, you pull a mask off and it's somebody who really had nothing to do. Yeah, that drives me nuts when a story does that. But
yeah,
I got faith in Jon. I think he's going to pull it off correctly.
Yeah, whatever. I'm trying to not to say.
Don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah. You'll say, "Oh my God, it was there the whole time." That's what people are going to say when they read it.
Oh, good. That's the fun. Then you go back and like, oh, okay,
yeah. Yep. There's clues. I've sprinkled clues. I have some red herrings in there too. So again, I'm trying not to say too much, but in issue 5 in here, I lead into where people think it's one guy and we find out it's somebody else. And so to me, that's very important, because you never want your readers or watchers to ever get ahead of the story. You want to keep them just one step behind you. And I think I've pulled that off.
I have believe it or not, 3 detective superhero characters, and one of them's got supernatural powers. So that's my out of coming up with really good clues. He's got one guy. He's my Batman ripoff. He's called the Raven, and he's a dummy. He's basically just a brute, and he's got like his Commissioner Gordon guy is the guy who's solving all the crimes.
Oh, gotcha. Kind of like an Inspector Gadget and Penny, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, and then
I don't know if you ever watched Inspector Gadget, but
then I got a guy set in the 40s. He's actually called. I don't want to give his name, but he's detective is part of his name, but again, he's got supernatural power. So it's like, I want to write a detective story so good, but I don't trust myself to do a flat out guy like picking up clues and investigating, and because I know that's not right.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not gonna say it's the easiest thing to do, but I love mysteries. I love detective mysteries. I was a big fan of Humphrey Bogart. I grew up. My parents were very G-rated people, so I grew up with the classics, the Bogey movies, 1940s. So that kind of instilled my love for noir, for the old school detective gumshoe stories, and that's how I wanted to tell Detective McIntyre in this story. He's the bane of the department, because he won't kowtow to the brass ring. He won't kiss the brass ring. He goes out and just does the work. And so, as much as they'd love to get rid of him, he's the best detective in the department. So.
Oh man, you would appreciate this. Again, it's very refreshing to talk to, because you're a blue collar guy. Like myself in construction. So like we have similar stories and background. But last night we were doing a wire pull, and I'm sure you know what that is. We're pulling this called Vitalink cable, and it's a real pain in the neck, and it got caught. So we had 20 minutes, and I couldn't leave. I got to stay there and keep the tension on. And
Lord,
here holding the reel. You know what I mean? Because we got to keep the tension. So we had nothing to do but talk. And he was telling me that his buddy became a detective in Queens.
Nice.
He's on Vice. And
wow.
He's going to all the massage parlors and and busting people. And what is he finding? His superiors.
I was gonna say he probably was when the story of the undercover drug dealers that bust the undercover drug dealers.
Right. So he's going to the prostitution, the brothels, and he's finding the guys that hired him and promoted him.
So that's awesome.
And he's like, he's a good guy. He's like, what you're supposed to be. So he's doing the paperwork and getting these guys, and now he's like hated on the police force.
I bet.
You know what I mean?
Which to me, I don't know. I mean, if they're doing a brothel, what does it matter to anybody? You know what I mean? It's clean. I've always been, I don't know.
I don't want to get into the details on it, but let's just say these brothels needed to be closed. You know
okay.
what I mean?
Okay.
What a 40-year-old woman does of her own volition is one thing, but when some people have no choice in the matter is another.
Yeah.
And then that's my bugbear. I realize that the world isn't as black and white as I think it is the older you get, but like from these stories, these needed to be closed down. So he had like a real crisis. Like, what do I do? Like, but I just think
sounds like Serpico.
Right, this is a movie or a TV show or a Dime Store Detective Volume 2.
I already got that one going.
I'm watching from my phone. The vertical stream is is that good? I have no choice. StreamYard updated and
Yeah, no, it's my fault. 'Cause I do it on my phone because I'm on my work site and whole thing. So hopefully it doesn't bother you too bad. Sorry about that.
Me. I was just asking you by now. StreamYard updates and it doesn't tell you that it's updating and it kind of messes with everything. But anyway, we only got 10 minutes left because I have to leave for work. So
I got to get back.
I give you a chance. Yeah, always mixing. Yeah, I agree with you, and I have ideas on that, but I don't like to tell my ideas until the work. Horror always works with noir. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, and it's so rare to find a good one too. When you find something that's got that rich history and still kind of pays respect to that. Well, I mean, his name is Mackinder for two reasons. One, because back in the 40s, instead of dude, they'd say, "Hey, Mac," and also it's after a guy who passed away. His last name was Mackinder, who was a phenomenal person who died way too young. So it's kind of a double meaning with his name.
Yeah, like I agree. Mixing genres, like everybody loves the first Alien movie. It's sci-fi, and then Event Horizon. It's a ghost ship in space. How cool is that kind of stuff? And I'm working with Tonic Ball. He does Saving the Universe. I have a horror story. After we both did a review of Alien TV show, we talked about it. And then like a week later, we both came back almost with the same exact story. So we decided we're going to make what we're going to call the Dark Universe. And he's going to tell stories. So he's making the rules of the universe. And I'm just going to write one story set in that universe. And it's going to be horror, sci-fi. I do like mixing genres. Like I have a fantasy Western. Like everybody's doing horror Westerns. I'm doing a fantasy Western.
Yeah, it's great because it keeps people on their toes. You don't know what to expect, so that's always fun.
Yeah. Geez, yeah. That was what's going on with my friend's buddy, the cop. Yeah. Again, I don't want to go into the details, but these people needed to be arrested.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, there's 15 days left. I'm hoping to hit the first stretch. We're hoping to gain some more backers. So we'll see. It's been going pretty good. But like I said, I would implore anybody, go check out the Kickstarter. I can about promise you won't be disappointed. And like I said, I've got my Alpha Dogs on there. That also has been published, and that's a great story about this dog inspired by my doggo, who has these incredible powers, and him and his owner are on the run for mercenaries that are trying to kidnap him to possess his powers. And then it's quite an epic story that people have really been enjoying. It's kind of the one that put me on the map, and then Dime Store Detective has been slowly become just as popular. And then Space Cruising is just a fun sci-fi romp that hopefully when these are done, I'll be able to start that series. So.
Oh, cool. I can't wait. Yeah, I really enjoy your writing. I think you're one of the best writers that I've encountered through my channel. And I've talked to guys like Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron and stuff. I think you can hold your own. I hope you get your big break. I'm rooting for you. I
appreciate it.
I really do believe, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, that like if you succeed, it's just going to put more spotlights in our direction. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's human nature to be like, oh man, why couldn't it have been me?
Well, I'm not there yet. Trust me. You get more backers than I do, so I'm not.
I'm one of these guys. I'm not going to say I haven't felt like that when I look at other people's campaigns. I'm like, oh, but that's a bad thing that I'm working on. But I'm
we all. I'm gonna tell you something. We all do that. Every single one of us do that. I'll look at somebody. I'll see theirs. I'm like, well, why is that me? But then I said, no. You know what? There's enough pie for everybody and to build people up like you do.
There's, America. We got trillions of dollars in America. People got a lot of disposable income. I think, like, man, if you get a movie made, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, I selfish as it sounds, I'll call you up. Hey, you got any connections for me? You know what I mean? Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, Dexter Detective would make an amazing miniseries. I just got to get it into somebody's hands, and that's the toughest part. Is no, it's so much easier to say no than to say yes. So
when it does become a Netflix series, is Detective McKnight, is he can be played by an obese lesbian of color?
No, the person who I envision, and now of course I am slipping on the name. Shit, he's the one that stars in Avatar, and he also was playing the new Clash of Titans.
Yes, okay, I could see him.
Yeah, I just think he's got that look. Or Michael Fassbender would be. He actually kind of looks like him. He's in everything. So
it's funny because people are like, oh, if Patriarch is a movie, like a younger John Hamm's starting to look a little younger.
Oh yeah. I could definitely see that.
I picture the beard on him. He would look good.
Absolutely, yeah.
But that's fun to do. Fan cast your stuff.
Yeah.
Alfred Dogs, would it be a CGI or a cartoon?
Well, I CGI is what they can do. And when I watched The Lion King, I was like, God, live action Lion King, that could definitely, Alfred Dogs would make a great series too. It'd be very expensive to do. So I'd have to, hopefully, if people out there, like I said, you can actually back it, in this Kickstarter, but if they would be so kind to ask their LCS to pre-order it through Lunar, that would be a huge help to me. So because if that takes off, then I think it'll be a domino effect of my work. So
yeah, good for you. Well, here's the link. I backed all of your books, and I haven't read Alpha Dogs yet, but I'm sure I'm gonna like it. I love Dime Store Detective. I'm doing something with that book that I hardly ever do. Is every time a new issue comes out, I go back and reread the series because it's a detective story, and I can't. My mind is a sieve these days, so I want to go and pick up all the clues. Because to me, the biggest fear is the big reveal, and I'm like, I don't remember. You know what I mean? So I go back.
Yeah.
And I got stacks of comics, so I don't go back and reread things a lot. So that's what I'm saying. It's worth the reread.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But I got to get going. I gotta go to work now. This shift is driving me crazy.
Oh God, I feel for you, man. I feel for you.
I wake up and I feel like, oh, I'm not going to do anything because I just got to go to work. And then
I know.
For work,
yeah, it throws off everything. It throws off your bathroom. It throws off everything when you work that third shift. I don't envy you. I hated those days.
I mean, it's more money, but it was supposed to be over. Then they extended it to, and every other guy in the shift is like, "Yay!" I'm like, "Am I the only person that hates this?"
yeah. I know. I don't blame you. I've got some stories. We'll have to do when we have more time about third shift and walking out of a hotel room.
I would rather work Georgia. I'd rather work midnight to 8 than this shift. Because you're sleeping at that time anyway. So you're just trading your sleep time for work time. And your free time stays the same. But
absolutely.
But I got to get going, guys.
Yep, so do I.
Even though my job is a grind, at least it's 8 to 4.
Yeah,
my job is 6 to 2 normally shift. So
okay, that's a good thing.
I beat the traffic, and then I beat the traffic on the way home. But anyway, that's enough babbling. Check out Dime Store Detective. Thanks a lot for coming. Good to see you. I love that work trailer. You got a grand piano in there. You got that's
You like that? They do us up good here.
man, my trailer's just got rats.
All right, well,
everybody. At this point, I'm gonna say goodbye, everyone. Bye bye.
all right. Thanks. Bye.